April Lunch and Learn. Sorry there. My name is Heather Bitts, and I'm the Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. Before we begin, please note today's session is being recorded, and we are currently streaming live to our Facebook channel on our Chamber Facebook page, sorry. Today, we are pleased to have two representatives from Travel Drumheller with us. Welcome to Julia Fielding, the Executive Director, and Ryan Semchuk, who is the Chair of Travel Drumheller. Julia and Ryan are going to provide us with a helpful checklist to get our businesses ready for the upcoming summer season. And just to note, before I turn things over to Julia and Ryan, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box and we will ensure they are addressed. Marley Henney with the Chamber of Commerce is going to be monitoring that chat box. So just type your questions in there if you have any during the course of the session. And now I would like to turn things over to Julia and Ryan. Welcome.
Cool, thank you so much, Heather. Just bear with me, I'm just going to work on sharing my screen, so bear with me. Ta-da! So hopefully you can all see. Yep, great. So as Heather said, thank you for joining us. Today, Ryan and I are going to be talking about our summer checklist. Travel Drumheller are here to support businesses throughout the year, but summer is obviously our busiest time. So we've created this little checklist, and the idea is to just go through it today. So thank you for joining us, and thank you to Heather and Marley for putting this session on. It's really great to be able to share some ideas with you all. Hold on a second. I can't see my dot because of you people. There we are. There we are. I'm just going to move you people. There you are. Okay. As Heather said, I'm Julia Fielding. I'm the Executive Director of Travel Drumheller. I have previously worked at the Atlas coal mine, and I worked for the town in economic development and communications. And also with us on this meeting is Ryan Semchuk, and he's the Chair of Travel Drumheller, and he's also the Head of Marketing for Canalta Group. And he'll be taking you through some things a bit more in depth on Google and TripAdvisor and things like that. Oops. Whoa, I jumped ahead. Okay, so apologies for people who are at our AGM, it's the same question. So we're just doing a few polls through the session, and we just want to know what type of business you're representing. So if you just click on the one that you are, it gives us an idea of what sort of people are on this session. We'll give you a couple more seconds. We'll go up to 20 so that we can all see. Okay, so other is the main one, which is interesting. You should put in the chat what sort of business you are. It's good to have a couple of attractions. We've got one retail, one accommodation. Great. So if you want to put in the chat who you are, that would be great. Can I get rid of, I can, there we are. Okay, so just a little overview of who Travel Drumheller is. We are the destination marketing organization for the area. Our job is to promote Drumheller and region to tourists across Western Canada and across the world, really. So we want to present and promote Drumheller region as a premier tourist destination. So we want to get up there in people's minds as the place to come and have a great vacation, day trip, all sorts of things that we want them to come and experience Drumheller. We want to increase our visibility regionally, so people really think about coming here on a regular basis. And also we want to increase our visibility locally. So this is about people get to know that we're the place to come to get information, to hear about what are the things they want to do when they're here, but also working with the locals and promoting the importance of tourism to our local economy and support businesses like yourself. So those are our major objectives at the moment in time.
Sorry, Julia, sorry to interrupt you. I just seen a comment on the Facebook feed that the people watching live could not see the poll results.
Ah.
And I couldn't see them either, actually.
I will try and get that fixed here with our next poll.
Thank you for the comment, everybody.
No
It shows
problem. I'll
attention.
post on the Facebook chat on the live feed there just some examples of who's attending.
Okay, great, thank you. So poll 2, let's see if we can work this one out. So how long have you been in business? So we just want to know, have you been in business a long time? You're new? Yeah, I think Heather, I think I can end polling and I can share it. So let me see if I can do that.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I've got the end polling button here.
Okay.
So it's quite interesting, isn't it? Look, we got I'm going to give you 2 more seconds and I'm going to end. So we kind of have a very equal. So we've got 38% of you are less than 1 year and 50% of you are more than 10 years. So that's quite interesting. Hold on. Oh, you're sharing, Heather. Awesome. Thank you. So you can see what sort of businesses, and we've got a couple, just one business who's been in business 1 to 3 years. So that's great to see. Thank you so much. Okay, so our checklist. Excuse me while I get my notes. So we've created this checklist. It's got 9 items on it for you to work through. Little things, a lot of them are not, it's not rocket science, but it's just little things for you to work through so that you're going to be ready for the busy summer season. I'm going to go through each item, right? As I said, Ryan's probably going to do the Google and TripAdvisor one, and maybe help me with social media one as well if he needs to add things. If we have got this on our website, it's on the Travel Drumheller industry page. I'll happily send you the link, or if you want some printed copies, let me know and I can deliver them to you. I can email them to you. Just let me know and we can get them out to you all. Okay, so first up, the dreaded COVID, and I know we're probably all fed up with it, but unfortunately it's still here and it's going to be here, I think, for foreseeable future. I appreciate things seem to be getting a little, we've still got high numbers, but vaccines are getting out. So, but there's still measures that all of the businesses need to undertake. So it's important that you stay up to date. I know that they change on a regular basis, but if you go to the Alberta Health Service website, you can see the link here. We can always share this as well. Keep up to date, know what you're meant to be doing for your business. And then one of the most important things is show the potential visitors what these measures are. So display the measures, whether it's online or if you have a store, maybe you put it in the window, or just places, display it at your store, accommodations, display it maybe when in the lobby, just so that people know and they feel comfortable. I was having a discussion with somebody yesterday and they wanted to know about certain attractions and what measures they were going to be doing before they could decide whether they were going to visit. So it's just interesting. People do want to know what you're going to be doing. And if you need any advice on this, don't hesitate to contact myself or the Chamber or the Town of Drumheller, your Alberta Health Services rep, just to get some advice. And just as an example, I know we've got Sean from a B&B, so little things like what's your cleaning regimen, things like that, just so people feel safe when they come and visit you. Hours of operation. Consistent hours are a vital part of a successful business to drive traffic to your business. I was talking to Rosebud Country Inn and she's doing a little restaurant. You can have soup and pie on her patio. And she, throughout the season, has been making sure she has the same hours. And she feels that that's why she's been successful. People know if they leave and they come to see her, she will be open at the same time. So this is a vital piece. And if it's the one thing that you take away from today, I would say this is probably one of the most important things. And I know it's challenging. Sometimes you may open and you'll say, well, nobody came, but it's good to keep the pattern and let's train people so that they get to know when you're open. And when you are thinking about those hours of operation, think about when people are around. If you're maybe a retail store and 9 o'clock is not a busy time for tourism visitors, so maybe you open later and you stay open later. There's a little fact there on the screen. 70% of retail sales take place after 6 o'clock. So interesting, do your research, find out when people are out and about and visiting and likely to come and see you. And again, display your hours on your storefront, online. People really want to check and make sure that you are going to be open, particularly at the minute with COVID and things like this. People want to take the time to make sure that they know when you're going to be open and that you will be open when they come to see you.
And I think that one's very important, Julia, to remind, and we'll talk a little bit more about it during the Google and the TripAdvisor, but you know, everybody's got a mobile phone in their hand now. Everybody's using Google Maps. These are tools that literally tell people when they're planning a trip and are making that decision whether you're open or not. So it's very important to make sure that you're at least consistently updating if they are changing. But like Julia said, it is good to be able to do that as we continue to develop and market the different regions of the valley and look at focusing on downtown Drumheller and the retail experiences and the brewery and the coffee shops and all of these sort of things. As people start to gather and use them, we want to make sure that the other retail businesses in those locations are going to benefit from that foot traffic as well. So very important.
Cool. Thank you, Ryan. So next up are some websites. Free marketing is always good. And there's two that I want to talk about. So Travel Drumheller obviously has its free websites, free to post on there. This is a great way of getting the word out for your business without you having to do too much work. All we need is an image, a high quality image that really portrays your business, a brief description, website, and a contact phone number. And you just need to email it to admin@Travel Drumheller and I can put it up for you. Little fact there, 170,000 unique visitors came to our website last year, and I think it'll be more this year because we're going to be doing increased marketing. So this is 170 visitors who you might not have accessed any other way. So do get in touch. Let's get the word out that you exist, and we can spread, hopefully get you some business. And the other website that I want to talk about is ENTICING, which is a part of Travel Alberta, and it's the Alberta Tourism Information Service. And again, it is free. You can see the Atlas Coal Mine listing here. And I was talking to Travel Alberta yesterday. They get in a normal year, 5 million people visiting their website. So 5 million people could see about your business. And again, it's about a brief description, some great images. You can actually put more than one image up on their site. And they also do promotional pieces. So maybe you want to do, when maybe you're quiet in the morning and you're in attraction, you want to build that visitation, then you can do promotions through ENTICING. The website is here. You can ask me and I can send it to you. And if you've got any questions, we're working with probably Jacqueline, who's on the call at the minute, at Neil County and Wheatland County, and we're going to be doing an actual session on ENTICING with Travel Alberta in May. So we'd encourage people to go on that, and she can talk to you about what makes a good listing, what information, maybe style of writing, imagery, and that sort of thing.
And the other benefit we get with the ENTICING platform, of course, as Julia mentioned, it is free. So there's no cost. You just need to make sure that your listing is updated. We recommend doing that seasonally so that you can take advantage of sort of the summer and then the winter seasons. But of course, if your business has a listing inside that system, Travel Alberta's content team also pulls from the popular listings in that system when they're doing their email marketing campaigns, content planning for the Travel Alberta social media channels, and anytime that they're doing packages and offers with accommodation partners and other items, all of those are sort of curated and put together both locally here and provincially with the province through that ENTICING platform. So I highly recommend making sure that you're on there. It's just as important as Google or Travel Drumheller or any of your other marketing assets that you have for the tourism industry here.
Great, thank you, Ryan. Another poll's coming up. So
Julia.
maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Is
Hey,
your
Julia.
business on the Travel Drumheller website?
While people are doing that poll, we had a question here going back to the comment or the statistic that 70% of shopping happens after 6 p.m. Just had a question of where that came from. She's noted when she asked Roger Brooks about that, he said it was that statistic was from malls. I don't know if you have any further.
Oh, well, I took it from Roger Brooks's website, so maybe he was. I'll need to phone him up and ask him why. So if it's malls, that's a little different than us, but I think it's still, I have spoken to a business owner in Banff, and he was saying that he had to stay open till 10 at night because he had, and I appreciate this, Banff, right? It's busier, but still the concept is the same, that he had to stay open at 8, 9 o'clock, and he was very busy in the evening.
And I also, from a statistical standpoint, we have to remember that they are a general statistic. So when we look at an individual business, like whether it's Deb with Jungling Works or Black Mountain Roasters or any of the other local retail businesses, the big question is, who is your customer? And once we actually understand who the customer is and who's shopping in, it might be a little different for Deb's business than it is for the brewery or a few other of the types of businesses. So again, I think it's great to have those statistics, and I think it's great conversation to talk about these sort of items. But I would agree, it really does depend on who the customer is and the type of business too.
Cool. So looking at the poll results, there's one person who's not sure, and 3 that are not on. 5, thank you very much for being on our website. So those people who aren't, I would highly recommend getting in touch with me, and we'll see if we can get you on there, and so that we can start promoting you. So thank you so much.
Are you able to close that poll and have it show up, or is anybody else seeing it? I'm not seeing the poll still.
Oh, it said stop sharing, so
I
stopped sharing.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It shows that it's supposed to be visible to you, but I'm not sure why it's not coming up.
Okay. Yeah, if you can just speak to the results like you've been doing, I think that's great too. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to pass over to Ryan now. He's going to talk to you a little bit about Google and TripAdvisor.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Julia. There's a few tools when it comes to Google, TripAdvisor, and a few of these sort of online platforms that both people that are planning or looking for inspiration to come to the region are using to sort of determine what they're doing and how they want to spend their time while they're here. Plus, you also have the people that are already here, committed to sort of hanging out, and they're looking for more things to do in Drumheller. So you want to keep both of those customers in mind, because again, we all use technology like Google Maps, Google Search, Google Voice, even now with the Google Assistants and your home devices and a variety of these items. So we want to make sure that your listings are up to date, so that when they're looking and planning their trip and they're in Drumheller and they want to come potentially spend some money at your business, that they know that they can successfully find you and that you're actually going to be open when they get there. So we want to make sure that that's happening. So I'm going to actually share my screen, I believe. So Julia, I think it's going to kick your presentation off, and we will come up to a presentation screen here for me. And I'm just going to pull up a couple things like TripAdvisor first as an example for a business. So right now, of course, as a review platform in Canada specifically, TripAdvisor is definitely the #1 source that people are using for inspiration and planning trips for vacations and when they're visiting different regions. Drumheller has a pretty good reputation on here. Of course, every business has their own sort of five-star ranking system, and allows you to see sort of all the things that people can do. Right now, nice thing about TripAdvisor is you can see here in the red bar on the screen, they have the ability to put some sort of temporary messaging in place. So if you are closed temporarily because of COVID restrictions, or maybe you have some other sort of minimum restriction, you're able to log into the back end of your administration sort of dashboard for TripAdvisor and ensure that you're on there and people can sort of find you and do pieces. So a reminder that TripAdvisor is more for attractions and restaurants for that type of experience. But you can also, of course, see the reviews, and there's a variety of other pieces that people use to do that. So we just want to make sure that you're up to date. If you are one of those businesses that falls under the category of managing a TRIPADVISOR profile, make sure that you've got it up to date. Industry standard states that you should be trying to sort of reply and respond to any reviews on this platform in less than 24 hours, and making sure that you're able to have any of those immediate changes to your programming, if COVID restrictions change or any of those sort of things. You have the ability to log in, update it, and instantly the world will know as they're using the TRIPADVISOR platform what's happening with your business. The next one, of course, is when we look at Google, and it's whether we're looking at desktop, like I have in front of me, whether you're on your mobile phone and your mobile device in your hand, your Google Home device, or your voice assistant at home. We want to make sure that a business is using and got their Google listing up to date and going. So I'm going to use one of my examples, which is Deb from Jungling Works. So I just did a quick Google search, as you guys seen, and I can tell already that Deb owns her Google account and manages her Google business profile. And again, this is another free piece. We very highly recommend that you do this, because obviously when we have a customer that searches for your business, you're going to see this sort of tab of information on the right hand side. And this is what you can control and sort of be able to update and keep going. So I can see here that hours are open. I can look and see that, oh yeah, perfect. I'm not going to plan a trip to go see them on Sunday. We've got their phone number. We've got their address. It's telling me that it's only 1 minute away from Black Mountain Roasters. We've got amazing 6 reviews there. You know, this is a good profile that's up to date. I can click, it's going to bring me to the website, junglingworks.com, and then of course directions. And this is the other piece that people forget. When I plug this into my phone and I ask how to get to Jungling Works, Google's going to tell me if Jungling Works is open, and if they're closed, it's actually going to let me know that there's a risk that when I arrive at my destination, that business could potentially be closed. So this is that consistency piece for the 5 minutes that it takes you to log into your account and update your hours of operation. That can be the difference between consumers coming in the door and not coming in the door. Because if you forget, maybe you've closed early on a day and you changed your Google listing, but the next week you're actually open at that time and you've forgotten, anybody that's searching you is going to immediately make that decision based on your hours of operation online, not to come to your business. So we want to make sure that you're not missing out on any of those pieces, and it allows people to have control. So when you log into the back end of an account like that, and I'll pull you up one of our listings, as I'm with Canalta Hotels, so I oversee our Google business listings for our Ramada property in Drumheller, and you can see it's just as easy as logging into business.google.com. I log in with my username and password. I can quickly click on my info tab on the left-hand side, and we can update our hours. We can put in different information. Maybe there's some special hours. We can add photos. You can control and look at who's viewing your Google listing. You can look at your reviews and provide a variety of other pieces that are very imperative to your business. So we want to make sure that you're always keeping both of those platforms up to date and going forward. So I think those are the main pieces that I wanted to touch on. Again, Julia's here. I work with her closely at the Travel Drumheller office on any of the marketing requests as well. So if you have some questions, you're not sure how to maybe log in or get it set up or do any of those pieces, let's get that done now in the next few weeks so that you're ready for this summer. Because as Julia alluded to, we've got the vaccination rollouts coming. Things seem to be picking up, and we can start seeing some restrictions easing in that July-August period. And I think it's going to be the next roaring 20s. So really excited. So I'll hand it back over to Julia to continue with some more slides.
Great, thank you, Ryan. Just bear with me. There we go. Fantastic. Thanks, Ryan. And as Ryan says, we're here to help you. So, do get in touch and call or email, and we can have a chat and help you get things set up and take you through some hints and tips to help you with that process. So next up is staff training. Some of their businesses on here have staff, some don't, so I apologize if it's not relevant, but it's just all of it is actually, I mean, if you're not staff, but those little things for yourself to think about. So if you have staff, it really is well worth taking some time to teach them about the area, what attractions are here, what things are available for visitors. I just want to talk about the Atlas coal mine because I worked there and I knew a bit about it, but this is a not-for-profit site and they rely on summer visitation for them to keep going. The visitors in the summer paying the fees is what keeps that site and preserves it. And so they know that if the visitors have an amazing experience, they're going to recommend it, they're going to come again. And so they take their time with their staff and they spend 2 weeks training their staff. And yes, it's very in-depth training because they need to know a lot of things. They need to know a lot of facts and they tell stories and they have to write their script. So there is that. However, they also train them in customer care, in the valley. They do farm tours, as do the Tyrrell. So they go around the valley and talk about the different things that are happening. And even things like where the hospital is, just so that, because you never know what questions visitors are going to ask. And I'm sure if you speak to Debbie or anybody at the VIC, some of the questions are quite astounding. So it's really good to help your staff know these things. And also just it gives the staff confidence and maybe there's things that they didn't know about and they can get to know their valley as well. And also I think it's important to support your staff in how to deal with conflict. I'm sure there's the odd unhappy customer no matter what. So it's just helpful so that your staff know how to deal with that and give them some customer care training, how to speak to visitors and so forth. And this is a lot, and I know it can take a lot of time. And really what you want is your staff to be out selling things and dealing with customers, but it is well worth taking the time to support your staff, and maybe then they'll stay longer and they may make more sales and offer a better experience for your visitors. And this is a lot, and so and we're aware that this is tricky for smaller businesses. And so Travel Drumheller are working with the town of Drumheller, Drumheller Chamber of Commerce, M&H Enterprises, the Tyrrell, and Community Futures, and we're doing a new program that we're hoping to launch later this year called Drum Discovery. And the idea of this program is to really bring people aware of the valley. Tyrrell are going to lead their customer care training. We're going to do a FAM tour and lots of other things, and it's going to be a fun interactive session. We're hoping it starts in mid-June, but who knows with COVID, because we'd really like it to be in person so that people get to know other people in a similar situation. But if you will be interested in that, do get in touch with myself or Heather, and we can let you know more details once we know them. Storefronts. Deb's storefront is lovely. I love it, Deb. Thank you very much. So just little things, when you stand in front of Deb's storefront, you know what you're going to get. You know that it's housewares, it's painted, she cleans the windows, she's got displays. And it's actually just little simple things that really entice people in. Now, Deb, this might be, because this is another fact from Destination Development Association, Roger Brooks, but his fact is 70% of visitors. Oh, I've got people in the way, I can't read it. There we go. 70% of visitor sales at restaurants, golf courses is all based on curb appeal. And it really doesn't have to be hard. Maybe you put some planters out, and they could be seasonal planters. Seating is a great thing for people, particularly in the heat, want to sit down, have a drink of water, have a rest. And just make sure your windows are clean. Just simple things. Just to take the time to have some pride in your storefront. And I think a lot of people on here do that, but it's just really well worth remembering. It's a huge part of your business to get people to come in and spend some money. Maps and visitor guides. So we talked about helping your staff know about the valley. And we wanted to let you know that Travel Drumheller has some free maps that they're pocket size, people, and they've got the area on one side and then the more detail downtown and in the valley on the other side. And this is a great thing for your staff to have and for you to have to give out to visitors. If they ask you, are they downtown and they're where's the Atlas coal mine, you can show them on the map. We would suggest that you go through this with your staff because they may not know where the Atlas coal mine is, for example. So if you want any of these, they're available at my office, which I'm at Community Futures. You can come and get them. They're at the VIC. Just let me know and we can make sure that you have some. We also have lots of copies of the 2020 guide. And so this has this map in it, various articles, talks about places to eat and so forth. And so if you would like some of those as well to hand out to your guests, absolutely let us know. This year, the guide is going to be digital. It's not going to be an actual physical thing. Firstly, because we have so many 2020 guides left due to COVID, and also just to stop one less touch point for people to be holding things. And we want to try it. It's a great year to pilot and see how it works having a digital guide. And so what we're going to be doing is getting some QR codes, both for the maps and for the guides, which you're welcome to have on a sticker and put in your business so that then people can download those onto the phone and watch and read them at their leisure. And currently the map and the 2020 guide is on our website. So feel free to go on there, have a look, download it. And we're going to make it much more interactive this time. At the minute, it's just a PDF, but this year it will be more interactive for people to use. And events and things to do. So this is events are a great thing to great way to draw people into your business. So Sean, I saw that your tea rest is going to be having opening it up to have artists in your grounds. So just little things like that that bring people in who maybe wouldn't normally come to your business. It's also supporting the community. I think it's a great way of building opportunities for you. And I know it was great, the Community Business Association over the winter, they did their winter walk, window walk, they did the Easter egg hunt, just little things like that that really create a buzz, and it's another story to tell. It's more content for you, for your social media. It's just a great way of promoting your business in a different way. And we know that the town are going to be at the plaza and there's various things going on this year. So think about linking with the events, maybe if there's some offers or promotions that you could do, maybe when it's Motorcycle Madness and things like that. Just thinking how you can engage with the events to offer more of an experience for people. We are looking at creating a calendar for our website. We currently don't have one, so we bought a plugin. So do let us know. And we're always looking for content. So we always want to know what's happening, what things are happening so that we can promote it. But please remember that content is king and we need good photographs and good descriptions because that's what people want to see. They want to envisage themselves at these events and see what it is that they're going to be doing. And I can help you with that, but do keep us in the loop because we'll always push it. We've got a content calendar in our guide. We'll put it on the website. With our digital campaigns, we can put, if it's a big event, we can put it in there. So do stay in touch with us. And as it's on the screen, remember drumhelleronline.com, they have their community event calendar. And that has great, people use that, particularly locals use that a lot, and we shouldn't forget about the local market. And Jason, I know they use that for content when they're talking about things. So if it's on the calendar, they may well talk about it. If it's not on the calendar, they definitely won't. So social media, I'm going to say a little bit, and then I think Ryan might jump in a little bit as well. This is his thing, so we'll so you can see some images here. These are images that we used in our digital campaigns, and the important thing for your social media is content. It's great images, and think about your audience. I was talking to Anastasia yesterday and thinking about If your audience is families, think about showing that in your imagery so that those people can really see that, oh, this is exactly what I want to be doing. And we had, for Festival of Lights, one of the images was the lit up dinosaur in the Munch Park. And oh my gosh, the people were so excited because it's so on brand. It's the dinosaurs, it's lit up, it's Christmas. And it was amazing, the response that we got from that one image. And our digital campaigns have been going so well, like 17 million people last year, impressions. So the imagery is key. And you're gonna also, when you're on social media, and I know it's a pain, but you have to keep doing it. Maybe you just, and maybe it's easier sometimes to just stick to 1 or 2 and do that really well than do 5 and not do any of them very well. Really focus on where you think your audience is. And so like we have a Twitter account, but we know that that is mainly industry and things like that. It might drive a little bit of visitation, but that's what that audience is. Whereas Instagram is very much about people coming to visit. So think about who is on your site. There's analytics there, and if you need us to help with that and what works with our campaigns, let us know. Another thing is engage with people, even people who moan. People will moan, and sometimes you can't win, but sometimes it's well worth just saying, oh, little things like give us a call or let's talk about it, just so that you're engaging people. And also for your analytics, you need to engage with people and engage with other accounts. So if you like something that Croque Monsieur put up, then say yay and well done and things like that, just so that it shows that you're not just this regimented Hootsuite, which is a project that a program that you can schedule your posts on. It shows that you are engaged. And we are looking at hiring a social media person, and we will be looking at doing some one-on-one training sessions. So do let me know if that would be something that you would be interested in. Ryan, I'm sure you have some things to add.
No, you covered the main pieces. I think that's, from a management standpoint, you're right, Julia. Social media can be very daunting and exhausting. You have to take time to figure these platforms out, and they're constantly changing and updating, and it's hard enough to just stay on top of just Facebook, and then you hear Instagram, and you've got Twitter, and now we've got TikTok, and the kids are on Snapchat, and you start wondering, and everybody's telling you need to be on these platforms. But I think that's the big thing. Take a look at what your resources are and do 1 or 2 platforms really, really good before you start trying to be everything to everyone on all platforms. That's a very shotgun and sort of old school approach to marketing. As much as a millennial come up to you and tell you that you need to be on Snapchat, I'll be the first millennial to tell you, we need to understand your business and your customer before we start spending time on Snapchat. No different than TikTok or Twitter. I am a fan of technology, but at 34 years old, I've learned very quickly in my career as a marketer that not every platform works for every business. So make sure that you're doing the right ones that make sense for you and your business. Definitely listen to the advice of other business owners and people within the industry, but you know your business better than anybody else. So you want to make sure that you have those conversations. And then I think that other piece on engagement and cross promoting and sharing content and doing all these sort of things. There's so much content that already exists that if we're just sharing it as a community, it allows you to be part of sort of what everybody's doing in a cohesive community, and gives you a little bit of a break. You're not having to think of 3 pieces of content every day from scratch. You're able to repurpose and reuse some of these items, whether it's local businesses or the chamber or a variety of other support mechanisms that are throughout the community. So definitely think it's an important place. I think the other thing that I like to mention and remind people is that social media can be a little bit misleading. You can create a page and you can put a post on that page. And most people think that, okay, I've posted it to my Facebook page and now everybody's going to see it. But there's some statistics that people don't, I think, understand when it comes to how Facebook chooses to display and where they choose to display that information that you post. So the one statistic that I like to remind business owners is that when you post on a business profile on Facebook or Instagram, and you do not boost that content, so you're not putting any money behind that content piece that you're putting out, that less than 40% of your existing followers are going to see that. So what that means is if Deb Jungling Works puts a post out and she posts it on her Facebook, that less than 40% of the people that are following her are going to see that. Now, if anybody goes to her page, they're going to see that content. Facebook doesn't hide the content, but what Facebook does is it doesn't necessarily want to let everybody see it because they want to make money off businesses. So when you look at boosting content, anywhere from $25 to $50 for a post will actually increase that anywhere from 60 to 100% of your existing followers. And that's only the people that are currently following and subscribed to that social channel. So that's not including the other people that are currently existing on the platform. So I just want to remind people, you just have to give it a little bit of thought, that just because you post it on Facebook doesn't mean people are seeing it. But there are some ways to make it more visible and get more reach. So that'll be my couple comments today.
Cool, thank you, Ryan. So that's the last item on our checklist. I don't know if people have any questions, whether you want to speak or do it in the chat, either works. Just let us know any questions that you would like help with.
And I think at this time, while we're waiting for some questions to come in, I'll just make a couple more comments into sort of back to what Julie was saying about our customer and sort of business support that's in place this year. We were lucky enough to get some additional funding from Travel Alberta. So we appreciate our provincial support from the provincial tourism organization, which is allowing us to do a little bit more support for our partners. And we wanted to push that down to all of our partners and members and the tourism community here in Drumheller. The big thing is we're doing a lot of digital marketing, and this includes Google search. So your keywords when you're doing your Google searches of, things to do in Drumheller, places to visit, all of those sort of key phrases and keywords. We work very closely to manage and try to make sure that our partners and our businesses get in and are showing up in those listings. We've got our digital social campaign, as you saw some of the imagery there, and we're going to be going very, very aggressive this summer on Instagram, Facebook, some Snapchat, and potentially some TikTok down the road. But again, very visual, very video and photo heavy content. And then of course, we've got our display ad campaign, which is where we start targeting apps on your phone and websites and having display messages show up on behalf of the brand, the region, and our partners. So we want to make sure that you've got all these things on this checklist that are done, but also make sure that if you've got some great offers or you've got some really, really good photos, we would love to have that content over to Julia, and we can plug in our partners right into the marketing campaign. There's no cost to you to provide this content other than a little bit of your time to get it to Julia. And then we're able to create these ads for you and include you in both the regional and the local marketing targeting that we're doing to all of these potential consumers that are thinking of traveling here, but also the ones that are here already and looking for other things to do and spend their time doing. So please, I can't say it enough. If you're interested to learn more, contact Julia. Her and I work very closely with a few other local marketing experts here in Drumheller to put together these digital plans, and we want to support our businesses. We know the local small businesses don't have the time to manage marketing campaigns. You're already struggling with social media. You're trying to deal with staffing. Business levels are low right now. We're all very stressed. So Travel Drumheller wants to be here to connect you to some technology and some marketing expertise that you normally wouldn't be able to sort of connect with. But at the same time, you need to be able to provide us with some consistent information, some good content, whether that's photo or video, and just a little bit of information that we can take to make sure we're representing your business properly. So, so I see a question there. So when it reached 2,000 people, it means it doesn't? No, I can successfully say that if your content piece, Deb, when you're looking at your analytics, says that it reached 2,000 people, it does mean that at least 2,000 people scrolled past that piece of content within their feed. So definitely they don't lie on their analytics. And that's where, when you're creating a piece of content, if you don't have the ability to boost it with money, but it's a good enough piece of content that somebody's going to share or people are engaging with, all of those are factors in the algorithm for Facebook that allow it to slowly get a little bit more attraction and gain. Because of course, if 30 people that are raving fans of your business share that information, Facebook can't deny that. They're allowing that information to share and show up. And if it's a good piece of content and people are engaging, that goes well. So definitely works from that standpoint. But of course, if you put a piece of content out that's doesn't have much engagement and it's just put on your page, it's not shared, it's not distributed, not as many people are seeing it as some people maybe perceive.
Ryan, could you give a quick explanation of the difference between creating a Facebook ad versus boosting a post that you made?
Absolutely, yeah. So we treat, and I'll use my hotel marketing background as a sort of an example. We have a weekly content calendar that my social media manager oversees. So we're creating cool videos and photo content and doing a variety of things for our property in Banff on a daily basis. So you're creating some story content and some video content. And if there's a really good piece of video content that we think needs to be seen by more people, we will simply boost that post. So you have the ability right in Facebook or Instagram to click sort of boost this post within your profile. You can assign a budget and a few other parameters to it to allow that individual piece of content to be boosted and saw. The content that you're boosting can be seen if anybody comes and visits your Facebook page, as well as then it's going to be targeting people outside of that realm or whatever parameters you put in there. Now, a boosted ad is a little bit different because you create the ad within Facebook and Instagram's ad center. So you go through a process of creating an ad. You probably put some imagery, probably a call to action like you buy now, promo code, discount, variety of things, whatever your call to action would be. And then of course you boost it and decide who's going to see it and where you would like to do that. Now, the big difference is when you do the ad campaign, that piece of content will only be seen by people that it's targeted to. So somebody that's visiting your Facebook page won't see the ad. So that's the main difference. So our team uses the content team to be able to keep weekly content for our customers to sort of engage with on our channels on a weekly basis. And we boost a little bit of content here and there. And then I sort of have an always on, more aggressive marketing campaign with a call to action that's less inspirational. And it's a little bit more about purchasing, making a discount, or making them do something versus just engaging or sort of being inspired.
Awesome. And I see Sean kind of just asked that same question. So Sean, I don't know if that answered your question about boosting versus an ad, but if you still need further clarification on that, maybe Ryan can connect with you or Julia and help you figure that out a little bit more.
Absolutely. And I see a new question here from April regarding hearing more about the QR codes for the guide. Looks like April was thinking about creating one for herself for their new site and their new pamphlets. Yeah, QR codes seem to be back, especially with the COVID restrictions in place. The other piece that allows them to sort of come back to life is the fact that most mobile phones have a QR code reader built right into their camera now. So people don't need to fool around with downloading apps or trying to remember what one to open or do these sort of things. Most people have a camera on their phone, they can click it and they can view it. So it definitely makes it easier. So where we've seen it very successful are, places like restaurants with menus, a lot of the COVID protocols, because they're ever changing and things are up and down. It's a bit of a roller coaster. And then that got us thinking about the tourism guide this year. We have boxes and boxes of the 2020 guide that even when we distributed them out to other VICs, of course, touch points became a very hot topic during the COVID pandemic. So we wanted to just sort of stray away and look at how do we mitigate any of that risk moving forward. The nice thing about going digital this year is we'll have a QR code, exactly like Julia said, one for the guide, and then we'll have one for the map. These can be printed on paper, they can be made into stickers, they can be shown on a mobile device or an iPad, and people can interact with them very easily. So it's going to be really nice to be able to see how it works now, knowing now that the consumer is a little bit more used to using them. It's not such a technology gap from an experience standpoint. So the nice thing is to create a QR code, there's really no cost. There's a few different apps out there that can create them. And I think it's definitely worth looking at using. My only caveat is don't go completely QR crazy. Make sure that it's the right piece, because you can start having QR codes everywhere, and now you're managing. It's a management nightmare. So.
And I don't know, April, but often when I go to a website, I'm on Google. But when I go to a website and I find something and it says, make this link a QR code. So you just literally, that's it. So that there's options there, and we can talk about it for people and show them how to do it.
And to answer your second part of the question, April, great thinking. So the new guide is a digital interactive PDF. So all partner websites, partner links, everything is hyperlinked within the new guide. So definitely there won't be a bunch of QR codes within the guides. They'll use the QR code to essentially get the guide on their mobile device. Once they're using the online PDF, it allows them to click, if they're looking at, let's say, the East Cooley School Museum, and you've got your up-to-date hyperlink in there, it'll be clickable and it'll take them right to your website.
I don't know if anyone has any other questions.
Crystal's just noted that they created a QR code for contact tracing at the brewery, and working on one for their menu as well.
Cool. Yeah, those are the exact great things for QR code, right? Because you don't want people holding them, and you can change them easily. So as Ryan says, they can be great for certain things.
And I'm going to be honest, I didn't realize until probably a year ago that I did not need a QR reader app on my phone anymore. I was at a restaurant that had the code on the, a sticker on the table. And I was like, I don't have an app for that. But literally you just hold your camera over it and it'll, yeah.
Yeah, I found that. And actually, yeah, it wasn't that long ago I found that. And I was like, oh, easy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, I don't see any more comments in the chat box. I know Jacqueline, it looks like she had to jump off. We are approaching 1 o'clock. So if there aren't any more questions, I will move forward with some closing comments. Again, thank you to Ryan and Julia for your excellent presentation, full of lots of tips and tricks for us all to think about for the upcoming season for our business. Very helpful for sure. And certainly, I guess if anyone has further questions, they can be in touch with you directly through Travel Drumheller. That was awesome. And so I thank you all for your time. We certainly look forward to the upcoming season and hope it's a busy one. I would just like to part with a comment about our next virtual event. On Wednesday, May 12th at 9 a.m., we will be hosting the Honorable Doug Schweitzer, Minister of Jobs, Economy and Innovation, who will be speaking on Alberta's economic recovery plan. Registration is required and the link is available on our website, drumhellerchamber.com. So we hope you will consider joining us again for that session. It should run for an hour. We'll hear from Minister Schweitzer, and then there'll be a question and answer period following that. So again, I thank you all for your attendance, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.